It's Monday morning tomorrow, and most of us get to go into work with a brand new, shiny, another complete debacle from the Reds this afternoon. Yeah, Manchester City 3, Liverpool nil. Um, yeah, roll on the international break. And as most of you guys know, I absolutely despise the international break. I'm going to be totally honest, guys. After the last 5 or 6 weeks of watching Liverpool, um, I can't really wait for it, to be honest. And this has now been going on, give or take, since we won the league title. I'll do all the introductions and stuff in a minute. My name is Geek Boy Meta, obviously, if you're watching. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's ever since, like, we won the league. Like, I'm not saying the whole thing's been a disaster, because obviously we have won games since then, but it's just been pretty crap, to be completely honest. I mean, obviously we had the parade, which in itself was ruined by that complete idiot on Water Street, who I hope is jailed for the rest of his life for what he did. Um, Obviously, we had the horrendous thing with Diogo Jota, which obviously is more important than any football match as far as I'm concerned. And obviously, we're still all processing that. And yeah, compared to that, I mean, losing the game against Manchester City is bugger all as far as I'm concerned. But obviously, life does go on. And you do, as someone that's dealt with death quite a bit in his life, you do just move on from it, unfortunately. And you do, well, maybe fortunately, I don't know. And you do go into a place where you do just naturally move on. Obviously, you maybe judge the players a bit too harshly, but in saying that, losing 7 out of 10 games for the Liverpool Football Club, and as much as I have respect for all our opponents, and they've all deserved to beat us, every single one we've lost to, we have no excuses. I don't care if they're throw-ins, I don't care if they're long throws, I don't care if we've had 89% possession, all that nonsense. The fact of the matter is, all our opponents have scored more goals than we have, and they've deserved to win. Simple as that, the end of story. So, yeah, I can't imagine I'm going to get too many viewers this evening, and nor would I blame you. I'm not planning on being on for long, because I'm going to go and drown my sorrows shortly. I might even see if there's still a off license open, which is probably not the best of ideas, seeing as I have work in the morning, but I'm extremely tempted. But yeah, so just to say, as per usual, this will be on YouTube podcasts, hopefully for your listening pleasure, I'm sure. Probably, I would imagine, about 2 or 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And it will be available as a YouTube video should anyone actually wish to watch it, which if I was watching myself now, I really want to watch this either. I don't particularly even want to do it, quite frankly. So yeah, this should be a fun show. God, I wish there was wine in that or something. Yeah, I mean, it was just a disaster, wasn't it? I have actually made notes, but I'm probably not going to refer to them that much, guys, to be honest. Yeah, so the team was unchanged. I looked at it. I mean, this is obviously before the match, and I thought, yeah, the lads have played all right. Why not keep it going? I did quite like the Verts thing, whether it's an experiment or long term. I quite like Verts being in the round Ekatike and Mo Salah and foot stuff. Yeah, that's not too bad. Then we heard that Alex Isak was back. I thought, oh, there we go. We've won two on the bounce. Life is looking up. Hello, Finn. How are we doing, mate? You all right? Yeah, yes. Hello, I'm. Yo, Finn, 3-0. Yeah, I know, dude. I know it's just horrendous, isn't it? Yeah, I was just saying that literally I was quite positive. We just obviously beat Madrid. That was awesome. We beat the Villa. We get Alexander Isak back. Even in the match, like Mamadashvili saved a penalty, and I'm sat there going, "Here we go. The luck is changing." And then Ibrahim Konate happened. I'm not. Look, I don't want to get on Konate's back. 'Cause he's probably the one that I've given most stick to this year. I mean, I don't know what he's doing for the first goal. I did. Perhaps you guys could explain it to me if you have an opinion. just simply do not know what on earth he thought he was doing for that. For I mean, I don't even have the words. I can't even describe to you what Kanate actually did. It was that stupid. Not once but twice, by the way, in the same move. Yeah, it was. I mean, I just simply don't have the words. Look, I'll get this out of the way. The Van Dijk goal is a disgrace. It was blatant onside. It's not. I mean, if that's offside, then we might as well pack up and go and go and watch a different sport. If that's offside, there's no point in playing professional football anymore because it just simply isn't offside. Not simply not offside. I've actually just been watching COP TV, and I forget the presenter's name. He's the Cockney lad. What is his name? Is it AZZ or something? I forget. But it just reminded me about the fact that Michael Oliver was in the payroll of a certain chairman who also happens to own Manchester City Football Club, who was invited out to Dubai, and he was the VAR for our match at the Man Stadium at Manchester City this afternoon. I mean, you don't want to say it, but I mean, yeah, I mean, there's not really much you can say, to be honest. Um, and then the thing that has annoyed me about Liverpool, sorry guys, I will read the comments, but I just need to get this off my chest because I'm so pissed off about this, I really am. The thing that annoys me most is that if you look at the end of the first half and the end of the second half, the last 10 games, there's been a debacle either at the end of the second half or at the end of the first half or at the start. It's always the start or the end every single match if you go for every single one. And it's like the players are like either switching off before half time, it's like they're switching off before the end of full time, it's like they're not switched on at the start of the game. The thing that annoyed me the most is, I mean, I couldn't tell you when Man City got the second goal. I want to say it was the 44th. Does anyone know what the minute was? I don't know because I can't be asked to look quite honestly. I want to say it was the 44th or 43rd minute, something along them lines. And you just sat there going, right, we've been battered, but it's Manchester City away. We know it's going to be difficult. We're 1-0 down, we've got the whole of the second half, not a problem. Let's just go in, sort it out at half time. We'll bring Isak on, I don't know, maybe bring Jones on, switch some things around, stay in the game, try and get a point. And then you think to yourself, well, you get a point at Manchester City, you beat Villa, and you beat Real Madrid. If someone had offered me that this time last week, happy days. I mean, to be honest, this time last week, I thought we were going to lose all three. So the one good thing is tonight, at least we haven't done that. And I suppose it's some consolation. Look, I mean, there are teams that lose like 6-7-0 to Manchester City and who have been battered. I mean, we lost 5-0 there once after Mane got sent off for that slightly ridiculous challenge, if anyone remembers. So yeah, 3-0. It's not like when you read the score, it's not like an embarrassment. I mean, it's not great losing 3-0, obviously, but yeah, you just think to yourself, keep it tight, defend well, get into half time, job done, and then basically the match is over. They concede a goal, what 44th minute, and it's like, well, the match is finished. You're not pulling back two. You're not beating. You might pull back 2 goals. You ain't beating Manchester City 3-2 when they're 2-0 up at half time. I mean, the match is basically over. Second half, players ran round a bit, I suppose. But I mean, it's over basically. I think from what I recall, I don't know if like I said, I forgot most of it, guys, to be honest. But I think Mo possibly had a chance or something on them lines, from what I can remember. I honestly can't remember at this point. And then they concede the third through Doku. And by the way, to be fair to Man City, I mean, Doku was very good. I'll give him that. I don't like Manchester City, as most of you guys know, but I respect the players, and Doku was very good. So, and then it's 3-0. It could have been 4 or 5 after that. I mean, for those of you who still think winning the league is a possibility, and I have some news for you, it's not. But if you do still think it's a possibility, I suppose the one good thing is Arsenal dropped points. I mean, we were probably always likely to not beat Man City, but at least with Sunderland drawing, which I don't think any of us expected, they've only got an extra point in front of us. So it, strictly speaking, is still doable. But I'm sorry, I just cannot say. I mean, I've just done some quick sums off the top of my head. basically we've got 27 games left, right? To get to, I think it's 99.9, but my maths is atrocious. It's like I could be wrong about this. So if you guys want to look it up and say, Leon, you're an idiot, fine. I think I've got this right. If we wish to get to 99 points, which may just have got us to win the league, possibly, we would have to go on a run, something in the region of winning 25 out of 27 games and dropping points in two. I mean, yeah, I mean that just is just not happening, is it? So, um, yeah, I just don't know what to say, to be honest. Right, let me have a look at the comments. I think we might have a bit of an issue as well. Sorry guys, just give me a second. Let me just grab a swig of water. I promise there's no wine in this, but like I said, I've still got 25 minutes to go to the off license. So your job is to keep me on for 25 minutes because I'm severely tempted to go and get myself a bottle of wine. Also, I've got the Just Eat account, which unfortunately one of the lads pointed out to me the other day. It's like, you do know you can order alcohol off it, which I read is a stupid thing to tell someone like me, to be honest. So, yeah, no, I'm going to try and avoid it, but yes, I am extremely tempted. Let me just have a look. Mr. Man, yeah, I know, dude, I know, yeah, I know, I'm him. It's yeah, it's just crap, isn't it? It is just absolute rubbish. Like I said, I mean, if you'd told me after the Southampton game, bearing in mind at that stage, I mean, the Southampton match that we played was what? When was Southampton? I want to say it was probably about 6, 7 weeks ago, and that was our 7th win on the bounce. If you'd have told me that 10 games later we would have gone on a run where we'd lost 7 and won 3, I mean, I would have laughed at you. I mean, I thought we maybe would. I don't know, I thought we would maybe lose to Madrid and maybe Chelsea away, and you think, well, that's fair enough. But I thought we'd not win all the games, but I thought we'd maybe win 6 or 7, maybe draw a couple, and then maybe lose 2, and then you're like, well, that's all right. Losing at Stamford Bridge and I don't know. All right, the Crystal Palace. If they'd lost at Stamford Bridge and Crystal Palace won all the rest, I think most of us are like, well, that's fair enough. That's fine. But I mean, to be in the position we are now, I mean, it's a bloody good job looking at it that we won those first 5 games. None of which we deserve to win, by the way. I mean, maybe the Everton match. The Arsenal match, maybe we deserved a point at push. I think Bournemouth, actually, I suppose Bournemouth we probably did just about deserve to win, but that was a bit lucky. Newcastle was extremely lucky because we were absolutely diabolical in that match. Atletico, thought the lads played well in the first half. Second half, they were awful. The Burnley one was extremely lucky because we get a penalty in, what was it, the 94th minute, when some idiot puts his arm out to try and catch the ball. Yeah, I mean, the only one that really that we've played really well were the 2 before this. I thought we played really good well against Villa. And like I said, credit to the lads. I thought the Real Madrid performance was sensational. It was the best football performance I've seen this season. And then obviously Mamardashvili saves the pen. And you think to yourself, here we go, this is it. We're Liverpool, we're back. We've got a bit of momentum. The luck's going for us now. And then, like I said, I don't want to keep going on about this, but the defending by Canata, if one of you guys can explain to me in a succinct sentence why I'm wrong about Ibu Kanate and what he did was really, really good, I'd be more than willing to hear your wondrous explanation, because it's going to have to be an astonishingly good explanation to explain what on earth he thought he was doing. So there we go. Finn does WWE. I can't be asked anymore. I'll do. Like I said, Finn, I'm infected for life, mate, unfortunately. So if you're young enough, get out now while you can do, young man. I'm a lifer. I'm always going to be a red, and I'm always going to put myself through this every single game, come rain or shine. So yeah, I did not, Mike. No, Mike. I'm him. Sorry. Put your name back to I'm him. It's getting very confusing. Never a penalty. Oh, yeah, right, guys. I'll throw it out to you. Was it a penalty? I didn't look at a replay, to be honest, because it happened so fast, and I've not seen a replay since. I thought initially like, he's done him there, But then obviously I've heard all this controversy about it not being a pen, so I don't know. I need to look at it again to be honest. But I did initially think it was a penalty. But do you know what? Fair play to Mamardashvili. He stood up. And he's got himself his first moment as a Liverpool keeper. I mean, at least he can come out with a bit of credit today and say, "Look, I've done my job. I've given away a penalty, but I've saved it." And the three goals, I don't think you can blame him for any of those. Really, to be honest, I think Mamardashvili overall just being chucked in. I think he's done okay. I think maybe one of the Brentford goals, possibly two, he could have done slightly better, but and maybe the Man United goal. But I mean, again, his defence just completely left him down because they stopped chasing after the ball. So I think he's been okay, to be quite honest. I certainly wouldn't put any huge blame on him. Obviously, he does have to improve a little bit, and obviously, like, thank God we're getting Alisson Becker back, but at least it's good to know that we do seem to have a decent goalkeeper. And to be fair to Freddie Woodman as well, he made a couple of decent saves against Palace, so I mean, we're pretty well stocked in that area. I mean, I don't know about the young lad, the Pesci guy. Apparently, he's doing reasonably okay in the under-20s, I think. So goalkeeper's not something that we need to worry about, and obviously long term with Alisson getting these injuries. Look, Mamardashvili, I'd be very surprised if he's not the out and out number one in 18 months' time. Very very surprised, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but yeah, fair play to him for saving the penalty at least. So soft in it. Keeper never touched it. Oh right, okay, so it's looking dodgy as well. Then, why did you give it for a PS4? Yeah. Yes, Gunnar, thank you for that. I'm him. Okay, the ref is corrupt. Yeah, do that, please. Van Dijk goal was in row, Robbo, never in the way. Oh, well, don't, like I said, the Van Dijk thing. Perhaps one of you younger people can explain that to me. Mo Salah kicks ball. Virgil van Dijk heads in. Andy Robertson in offside position, not interfering with play. Donnarumma puts hands up, goes past Donnarumma, goal the end. I've heard something about, I don't know if I really don't know if this is true, perhaps one of you guys can tell me, that there's been some sort of explanation about Kanate blocking Donnarumma's view. I mean, Donnarumma's about 20 foot tall, well, and Kanate's about, what, 3 inches smaller than him? And I'm like, blocking what view? What are you talking about? It's just absolute utter and complete nonsense. I mean, look, it's not as bad as the Luis Diaz VR, which was a disgrace, an absolute disgrace, and that never should have been allowed. But I expect an apology tomorrow morning for this because I'm sorry, but that just simply is not good. Now, look, to be honest, the way Liverpool played, if it had been 1-1, do we win the match? I've got to be honest, looking at that, I would probably suspect not. But City have all the play, we get to 1-1, maybe we'll get a lucky goal after that, confidence starts going through us. We hit him on the break. Maybe it ends up, I don't know, 3-1 or half time. Maybe we get into half time 1-1. We think, do you know what? Let's use a bit of common sense. If we can win the match, great. If not, we get the point at the Etihad. Everyone's happy. Job done. We can all go home and have a couple of drinks at the end. But I'm sorry, the referee and the VAR have denied that through. I mean, I'm just going to say it, blatant cheating. Unless they have a satisfactory explanation tomorrow morning for why that was disallowed, because the explanation provided tonight was completely unacceptable, and I'm afraid it's not an acceptable explanation to me. Unless Howard Webb on that ridiculous show that he does with the traitor, I'm not even going to say his name, unless he provides some sort of logical explanation as to why it was disallowed, I'm just simply going to say it's cheating. Simple as that. It's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Oh yes, guys. I've just seen. Yes, so I cottoned onto this the other day. Just bear with me a second. Oh. You have one in your user. YouTube doesn't. Stay like a boy now. Yeah, thanks for. Yeah, no, to be honest, I don't think I can actually get wine now anyway. I would have to put it this way. I won't obviously tell you where I live for obvious reasons, but where I am, just over this wall over here, there's a door, and there's an off license literally like 3 minutes down the road, which closes in 9 minutes. So I'd have to say goodbye to you guys in the next 30 seconds, grab a pair of shoes, get my wallet, get to the shop, and then get the alcohol, and then come back here. So I totting up. I don't think I've got enough time anyway, to be quite honest. But honestly, I'm very, very tempted to. But it's as most of you guys know, work. It's probably not the best start to the week if you go in with like half a bottle of whiskey down your stomach to start the week with. So no, I'm going to be a good boy, and we're going to have a bit of a rant on here, have a bit of a chat, and then I'm going to read some. I'm going to read some Spider-Man graphic novels, not think about Liverpool for a few days, except I'm meant to be doing a live stream tomorrow, which I put down for some inexplicable reason. I'll probably still do it, and I'll probably be a bit more positive then. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna get myself complete steaming over that. User, are you half Indian? Nope, I am half Ghanaian, half British, mate. Here's a speak for himself. Long time no see, sir. Hey, Kaiser, how you doing, mate? You alright? Yes, I remember you, Kaiser. How you doing, fella? You alright? Finn, where is Adrian these days? Oh, it's a good question, Finn. He is. I don't know if I've made this up in my brain, which is a distinct possibility, seeing as I get stress and anxiety and have to take medication for it. Am I right in thinking that he's at Real Betis? Because I swear blind, I saw him in a picture with that. What's his face? The bloody Man United player that did those ridiculous circles and never actually crossed the ball. And also humiliatingly, one of his only goals was against us. I can't remember what his name. Anthony, that's the one. I'm sure I saw a picture of him in Anthony. Maybe I got that wrong. I don't know, but I think he's at Betis. Maybe I don't know. Let's have a look. Finn. Apparently, Robbo obstructed Donnarumma and Newcastle. Oh, I thought they were saying it was Canard. Well, hang on, let me think back. Right, ball gets played in. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm not having to go at you or anything, but if that's what counts for obstruction these days, we all need to go and watch a different sport because I'm sorry, but that's a ludicrous explanation if that's what's being offered. Bloody a block, Randy Robertson, when you've got a bloke who's built like bloody Brock Lesnar, who's about 7 million foot tall. No, absolute utter and complete nonsense. It's not a reasonable explanation at all, as far as I'm concerned. Liverpool just didn't deserve to win. No need to argue about a ref decision. It's pure beer. Yeah, dude. Completely. Yeah. Yeah. No. Kaiser. To be honest, but I'm not gonna defend Liverpool at all. I mean, they thoroughly deserved to lose. In terms of the actual match, I mean, it was a massacre. We were lucky it wasn't 7, let alone. I'm just writing something down. Just bear with me a second. Yeah, no, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, no, Kaiser, to be honest, no, I'm not making an excuse for the performance at all. I mean, like I said, fair play to Man City, as much as I'm not a particular fan of theirs. They deserved to win the match, and we didn't. Simple as that. They outplayed us in every single way, and we got what we deserved, which was bugger all. The end. You know what I mean? I'm not. I know we have someone in our supporter base who will basically lie through their teeth and say, "Oh, Liverpool were better than this." I'm not one of them people. Look, the all 7 matches that we've lost in this sequence, we deserve to lose every single one of them. If anyone can think of one of the matches we didn't deserve to lose, I'm more than happy to retract that. You could maybe make an argument for a draw against Man United. Maybe an absolute push, but to be quite honest, I don't think we deserved anything out of that either. So there we go. Hey, Depression Talk, how we going, mate? The reason I just leaned over Depression Talk was I've literally just wrote your address down because yet again I forgot to subscribe to your channel, haven't I? Sorry, it's there again. Underneath my little notepad on the computer. Sorry, dude. I will try and do that tonight if I can do. I did look for you the other day actually, and I put it on, and there were there were all these like self-help seminars and stuff, and like asking for like money for spiritual healing, and I was like, I'm guessing that's not my depression talk. One would have thought so, yeah. But yes, dude, let me. I'll see if I can subscribe to you tonight, mate. In fact, I'll tell you what. Let me see if I can do it now. Live on the internet. And while I'm doing that, VAR doesn't love you anymore. VAR doesn't love you anymore. Is this another Liverpool thing, by the way? When we got uh, we got all those hundreds of decisions. Here we go. Yes, I mean I don't know where Liverpool it was exactly when Alexis McAllister got kicked in the face, or when Tottenham Hotspur were allowed to basically not concede a goal against us because one of the referees was drunk, or whatever the ridiculous explanation was, or various other things that we've had over the years. So yes, the Liverpool thing. I'm afraid I am not a subscriber to that particular view. Let me have a look. I'm having a look now. Depression. So I've just typed your thing in. Right. I'll tell you what. Right. It's in the search bar. Let me. I'll try and have a look later. There we go. Kaiser. I've just searched for your stream multiple times, but the timing just isn't the perfect spot. Oh no, that's fine, Kaiser. That's fine. Yes, Robert obstructs the goalkeeper's vision. It's not allowed in any universe. I don't know, Kaiser. It's a bit. Look, obviously I used to watch football in the 1980s, and it's like I know, I, I I suppose by the rules of the game as it's played in this day and age, it probably is. But obviously, I'm an older person who grew up with football in the late 80s, early 90s. And if you'd have been the boozer and stood up and said that's a foul, you would have been laughed out of the pub. It's as simple as that. And maybe I need to get used to it a bit more. I don't know. But I mean, for me, I mean, sorry if that's a foul. I mean, put it this way: if Liverpool had conceded that goal, I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have even been asked for. I mean, I didn't even notice what was actually have happened. So maybe, perhaps it's a generational thing. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know how Bronte went from Pogba back to Mbappe and Vinny this year to being bullied by Doku. I get that Doku's fantastic, but so is Mbappe. Yeah, I don't know, Kaiser. Honestly, I really, really don't know. It was, I mean, to be fair to Doku, I mean, from what I'm given to understand, I haven't seen a lot of Man City, but he seems to be playing very well at the minute. I mean, there's people like that are on about football of the year, and I'm like, okay, that seems a bit weird, but yeah. So I honestly couldn't tell you if he's doing really well, but allegedly he's meant to be one of the better players this season. But yeah, past don't know. Let's have a look. I saw depression talk in a different live depression talk. Yes, I'm him. Yes, I know it's you. I'm him. Yes. All Liverpool played very bad, which wasn't the case today. They were not clinical enough. They had the chance to open City multiple times, but no one blowing the candle. Yeah, maybe. I mean, look, it's just very frustrating when you've got like literally what was it, £125 million worth of striker on the bench who's meant to be doing all this stuff for you. And I know, look, I'm not going to get on Isaac's case. Obviously, he's only just turned up. He's played, what, 6, 7 games for the club. He has got a goal. And he's been injured for, what, a month or something along them lines. So hopefully, maybe we can start seeing the best out of him. But I tell you what, he does need to start scoring. I think, obviously, Liverpool will be patient with him as a club. Having heard one or two of the fans and a lot of the groups that I'm involved in, I would imagine if Isaac has not scored another goal by January, that patience is going to be wearing very thin, because obviously there's already people having to go at Verts. I didn't actually think Verts was actually that bad today. Like people are like, oh, he was rubbish, this, that, the other. He wasn't the worst player on the pitch, not for me. I mean, I'm sorry, but Canate was, I mean, he stuck the joint out. Absolutely dreadful, wretched performance beyond words. So yeah, I didn't think Verts was. I didn't think he did much, obviously, but I didn't think he was that bad. But yeah, Alexander Isak, he's gonna. I think if he can get a couple of goals over sort of December, then maybe people will be like, right, well, that's okay. And then for this season, I think he's actually look. He ain't going to score 30 goals this season. I think that's pretty clear. There's absolutely no chance he's scoring 30. I think if he can get to a sort of 12, 13, which again in itself isn't really good enough. But I mean, for the position we're in now, um, you're talking he's got. I mean, this is league goals I'm on about, by the way. So I mean, we've got what 27 games left. I suppose 12, 13, 27 would actually be decent. But the trouble is now, which I was going to talk about as well, we've got what am I trying to say? We've got Mo Salah. He's obviously doing one for the AFCON, which when does that start? Is it January 4th or something like that? And I think Egypt can request him in a training camp. What is it? 2 weeks before. So I'm guessing Mo Salah's last game would be Tottenham away. Maybe Brighton at home. It's going to fall somewhere in there, but Brighton at home, I think, is December the 13th, as far as I'm aware. So maybe we've got until then, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, as far as I'm aware. So we've got Forest, PSV, West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds United, which is brilliant for me because Leeds is where I live. It's literally down that road over there, and all of my a lot of my family and a lot of friends are all Leeds United fans, so that's going to be a great night for me. Really looking forward to that one. And then after that, we've got I want to say it's Brighton, maybe another Champions League match, and then Tottenham away. So I'm guessing Mo will play the majority of those. And then the trouble with that is, if Egypt go all the way, look, I'm obviously an African fan, so I follow Ghana, and obviously you know roughly who's good in Africa and stuff. But Egypt's obviously one of your best top 4 or 5. I mean, I'd be very surprised if they're not going to at least the semis. I mean, I don't want Egypt to lose out of spite or anything, but like, obviously from Liverpool's point of view, well, I mean, there's two ways of thinking about it, isn't there? Because if Salah gets through to the final and wins it, super good for us, but he's going to be knackered, but he's going to be on high. And he's won his trophy. He's going to be happy with life. He's going to come back. Maybe he's in a really good mood. Or we get Mo Salah back. Basically, maybe Egypt crap the bed in the first 10 days and they go out in by like the second game or something like that. Maybe the coach says, Mo, you can go home. Is he then going to be more depressed than he is now? I don't know. I mean, I suppose to be honest, and I don't even. I mean, obviously that it goes without saying, like getting back Mo earlier. Look, obviously would be better. I mean, that would be stupid not to say it. But if he doesn't win it, then I don't know. I don't know. It's just an absolute bloody mess, isn't it? Finn, who do we have next? We have Nottingham Forest Football Club. Not known for their uh, passing it out from the back, playing good football. Also managed by Sean Dyche. So yeah, I wonder what Nottingham Forest are going to do in that match. One would imagine there would be quite a few corners and free kicks. I would imagine it's just going to be exactly the same thing again. I mean, the Forest match is really, really important now. I know the one. Did they win? Oh yeah, they beat the locals, didn't they? Beat Leeds 3-1. So obviously I know they've come back a little bit now, but I mean, there's no way Liverpool can lose that match. I mean, look, they need to win it, right? Ideally, but like, do not lose the football match because then if you got that, obviously we've got a bit of wriggle room in the Champions League, so we've got PSV next. Maybe we can rotate a tiny little bit, and then you've got West Ham away from that. I mean, God forbid. I mean, if you. One of the things I've just put on my Substack, by the way, I'm at Geek Boy Better on Substack, and I do a lot of Liverpool writing and stuff. If you want to subscribe, I'll put it on the channel later. I'm just doing an article about basically how crap we were today, if you really want to read about it as well. But I just put on about the fact that obviously I'm one of the few people I don't really blame Arne Slot for a lot of this. I blame him for a fair bit of it because tactically he's not been great this season at all. But I don't blame Arne Slot for not marking people from corners when he's quite blatantly telling the players to do so. And I don't blame him for whatever Ibu Canate did this afternoon, because it's just completely bloody stupid, basically, what Canate did. Um, in saying that, obviously this is now a live thing about Arne with his job, which I cannot actually believe we're in this position, talking about the manager's position. I mean, what, 5 months after we won the league, 6 months, however long it's been? I mean, I would have laughed at you a month ago if you said Arne's job was under slot, but under pressure. But I mean, we're in a situation now. So that run I've just given you, Forest, PSV, West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds United, and Brighton. Brighton, like, say if they won the four and then lost to Brighton, Brighton are an up and down team. I don't think there's going to be massive complaints if we lost to Brighton and then drew with Spurs, because that's quite a difficult 2 matches on the bounce. And you're like, well, put it this way, if we got 4 points out of that, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine, not a problem. But if he was to lose all the matches before then, which one would hope they wouldn't, if they were to lose every single match, then lost to Brighton and then lost to Tottenham, and let's say, for example, they lost 6 in a row, which I would say is in the realms of fantasy, but they have literally just done this, basically. Um, this isn't theoretical. Liverpool have just lost 6 out of the last 7. I mean, technically, they've just won 3 out of the last 5, I think it is. So, yeah, but I mean, if he. I don't want to think about the consequences if he went on another run like he's done, because if he did, I don't want to say it. I don't think FSG would sack him. I definitely think that there would be phone calls taking place to other managers. Now, I don't even want to start speculating, but as to who we could get in mid-season, I haven't got a clue. I mean, I suppose the 2 most obvious people for me, excuse me, if Slot had to go, and I'm just putting out that I do not want Arne Slot sacked, personally for me. Um, the only one I would really find acceptable who is currently available is Areola. I think he's an absolutely fantastic coach. I love the way Bournemouth play. I know they've got a bit of a, excuse me, a pasting this afternoon, but I mean, that can happen at the end of the day. But I do like the way his teams play football. Oh, excuse me again. Oliver Glasner. I know there's a few Liverpool fans who are like getting behind this now. I'm just not sure whether that's a good fit. I'm really not. I suppose the one good thing is Glasner's out of contract at the end of the season. So I can't believe we're actually even talking about this, but if a change had to be made, um, I suppose basically you could fly through a slot, and then basically you could get a Glasner, and then obviously he's got his connections with Mark Gay. Maybe he has a word in his ear, and then maybe they both come as a package. But I don't want Slot. I don't want Slot sat personally, but I do agree now that if he was to have a look, I mean, obviously I said this a couple of weeks ago. If Slot went on some horrendous run where we lost like 15 on the bounce and we were conceding 4s and 5s every week, then he would have to go, because that would just be blatant incompetence. We couldn't keep him then, for obviously you couldn't keep any manager under that circumstance. But um, I think basically as a minimum. So we've got, after the Tottenham match, I want to say it's Wolves, Leeds United, at home this time. FA Cup third round. I mean, obviously that's a toss of the coin job, and then we've got Arsenal away. So you talk before the Arsenal match, give or take a couple of Champions Leagues. I think we've got Marseille as well thrown in there somewhere. I think basically he's in a situation where, as a minimum, he's going to have to win 6 out of 10. And you do wonder whether even that's going to be good enough. That, I mean, I don't think he'd get sacked for 6 out of 10, obviously, but I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that FSG, that the conversations haven't already been had, because I mean, obviously these Premier League clubs, they do keep records, and they do analysis, and they do analyse other managers, and I'm sure Slot knows that, and he wouldn't be naive enough not to know that. I suppose my concern if we lost Slot, I mean, the quality of manager out there at the minute. I mean, who are you getting? I mean, the only ones I can really fit. I mean, Eddie Howe, what 14th place Newcastle United? No, thank you. Unai Emery, very good coach. No disrespect to Unai at all. Is that a good fit? Don't know about that for me. The people pining for Jurgen, it's like, guys, look, you need to accept it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. The guy is happy. He's done his time at Liverpool. And this thing of, oh yeah, but Diary of the CEO. And I'm just like, watch the actual episode. I watched all 3 hours. It's like, he said he'd come back to Liverpool. No, he did not say he was coming back to Liverpool. He said nothing of the sort. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you've got the coach at Borussia Dortmund, whose name I can't even remember. Maybe. I mean, you've got the managers who are managing international sides at the minute who become available in the summer. Thomas Tuchel, before anyone says it, is not a Liverpool manager. It is completely unsuited to be a Liverpool manager. You need to have a bit of empathy. I'm not saying warmth, but you need to have connection with the fans. And Thomas Tuchel is, I don't, mercenary is the wrong word, but he's a gun for hire. He's not a, he's there to do a job. He's not me criticising Thomas Tuchel. He's there to win football matches. And he's there to win trophies for people. He's not there to engage the crowd. He's not one of them sorts of people. But Liverpool's fan base are. We need our manager to be engaged and someone we can get behind. And that ain't Thomas Tuchel. Mauricio Pochettino. If it had been 4 years ago, absolutely. Now, I don't think he's damaged good because he's still only a young man. I mean, I think Poch, I'd imagine, would be early 50s, maybe mid 50s. So he's still got plenty of time at the highest level. But I mean, I don't know if that would be a thing. I mean, obviously it can't be Xabi Alonso. He's at Madrid. I mean that would be hilariously funny if we could poach Xabi Alonso from Real Madrid and have them going absolutely mental with us. But that is not going to happen. Luis Enrique, you've got to ask yourself, why would you leave Paris Saint-Germain for? Xavi, it hasn't coached for what, a year and a half, 2 years. Hansi Flick, again, why is he leaving Barcelona for? Um, what made me laugh the other day was there were Liverpool fans on basically demanding that we sign Pep Guardiola, and I'm just like, wow, are people that far gone these days? Like, you actually think Pep Guardiola is going to leave Manchester City to join Liverpool? Really? Seriously? You're just like, guys, it ain't going to happen. Don't be ridiculous. Funnily enough, I actually said this the other day. I think Pep Guardiola, I think if it was a different time and a different life, I think he would love to manage Liverpool because obviously he's a very, very passionate man, pours his whole heart and soul into it. He did have that connection with the Barca crowd. He's always had that fire to him. And you see him trying to get Manchester City fans riled up, and I wouldn't say you see him die inside, but they get a little way, and then they just sit back down, and then you could just see Pep dying a bit inside each time. Whereas if he did that, the Liverpool fans would all be up on their feet and this, that, and the other. So it possibly would have been a good thing at another time in another universe, but Pep Guardiola will never ever be the manager of Liverpool Football Club, and it's as simple as that. And I mean, after that, who are we talking? I mean, I'll answer the comments in a minute. Sorry, I'm aware that there's comments building there. I tell you, I used to like Roberto De Zerbi. Thought he did a fantastic job at Brighton. I think he's a really, really good manager. But again, our fan base are going to be like, well, he manages in the French league with Marseille. And it's like, yeah, well, Marseille are actually doing okay. But it's like, yeah, it's the French league and Brighton. So it's just going to be exactly the same thing as people were like, who's on the slot? He's just managed fine or blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, for it to meet certain people's standards, I don't know. I'll throw it out there. I'm sure you guys have answered. If there's anyone that you can suggest that I have not suggested, I would be more than happy to discuss it. But I genuinely, and do not say Brendan Rodgers, by the way. Legitimately, someone messaged me the other day saying, why don't we bring Brendan back? And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, are you taking the mick? We had a suggestion the other day of Ange Postecoglou. I nearly deleted the person's account off the live stream. I was just like, are you taking the mick? I like Thomas Frank, but he's the manager of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. I don't know. I'll throw it out to you guys. Johnny, sack slot useless. Oh, well, there we go. Uh, Kaiser, I've never seen Salah regularly. I've started to watch him this season. No, man, it's been arrows to my eyes. Verts is not bad. He's just missing the one magical touch. Agreed, sure. Finn, where was Salah today? I barely saw that. Then he had a couple of chances. Well, he did have that chance, didn't he, Finn? When he when was it? Was it when we were 2-0 down or 3-0 down? I think he brought. I can't remember because like, I think I'd just given up at that stage. But I think he took the ball down the area. It was a good first touch, and then he just absolutely balloons it over the bar from like about 7 or 8 yards out, and I'm just like, I, I don't know what's going on with Salah. I think it's. I don't want to make excuses for the man. I don't want to keep using the Jota thing, but I think, and it's not a competition between the players because we don't know who's been affected most. But if I had to take an educated guess, I would probably say Mo Salah, because he just doesn't look right to me. And I'll put this out there as well. Um, I if Mo Salah was not coping badly and he said, guys, I need to take a break because I'm mentally unwell with this, I would say, Mo, you take all the time you want. We'll be here when you get back. Simple as that. If any of the players said that as well, I'd say exactly the same thing. Yep. I'm going to ignore that. Finn, love your Garner wristbands, by the way. Oh, cheers, Finn. Thank you. Yeah, I've not worn them again, actually, but yeah, no, I was very, very pleased to get them the other day. I've ordered loads of Garner merch basically for the World Cup next year. I've actually given half of it to my missus to wrap up for my Christmas presents, which I'm a bit gutted about now because I kind of want to wear them now. So I've got like a blue Ghana top with like the Ghana national flag across the top. I've got this long sleeve like black one that you can wear for like you can kind of sort of wear for nights out as well as a football shirt, which is pretty cool. Um, and I've brought something else. Oh, I've got another Ghana shirt. It's an old school Ghana. It's like a reprint of the national shirt that Ghana used to have. This is like years and years and years ago, like in the 1980s, early 90s, where it was just the old school Ghana badge and it's on the white top and it's got those ring. It's like one of them ring shirts where you've got like the black ring and you've got the black rings around your arms and stuff. So yeah, super looking forward to the World Cup. In fact, we can all just talk about Ghana winning the World Cup next year if you want. That would be much better for me. Speaking of which, by the way, very cheap plug. I'm actually going to be doing the World Cup draw. No, I'm not, as in I'm not actually doing the World Cup draw because that'd be weird, wouldn't it? Be funny as you know what, but yeah, no, I'm going to be covering the World Cup draw because I'm going to do it like, but from like a Ghana perspective. So I have a whiteboard. I'm not totally sure how I'm going to do this, but I'm either going to do it here or obviously you guys have seen me do the show upstairs next to all the toys and stuff. I'm going to do it there, but I'm going to try and like write over my shoulder the teams and the groups. I'm not sure how that's going to work in practice, to be honest, but to be honest, I might just write them down. I might just read them down. Look, you'll be able to see it on BBC and Sky or whatever else anyway, but yeah, very much looking forward to that. I know it's a bit kamikaze, but I really want Ghana to play England now. I really, really want Ghana to play England just because it would be so funny. Um, the lads have already told me, nicely as well, because obviously they know I'm half Ghanaian, and they're like, you are not allowed out to the pub on that day for obvious reasons. And I was like, yeah, this is probably not the best of ideas, to be fair. Because obviously I want England to do well as well, but like Ghana's my national team because I'm losing my old fella. And um, yeah, I'll just throw out that I would like Ghana to beat England very much because it would be very, very funny, and I should probably keep that to myself actually. Anyway, let's have a look. Mishra, you from? Oh yeah, I forgot about Ghana wristbands. Yeah, Ghana wristbands, dude. You needs me in your life, man. Oh, Kaiser, get Nagelsmann. You see, about 3 years ago, I probably would have been all over that Kaiser, to be honest. And I know Nagelsmann's had a bit of struggle with the German national teams because obviously the German team, well, obviously with the greatest respect, aren't the German team that I used to watch. I mean, the German team that I used to watch back, I mean, this is years and years and years ago, but the 1990 team was just, I mean, it was amazing. I mean, it was just very efficient. It wasn't like the best football I've ever seen, but obviously you had Lothar Matthäus, you had Andreas Bremer, Rudi Voller, oh my God, what was his name? Stefan Effenberg and people like that. Oliver Kahn, and then obviously you had Miroslav Klose, Andreas Bremer, who I've still never forgiven for that penalty that he took at Wembley. Made me cry, the little bugger. I was about 15. But yeah, I mean, obviously the Germans, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Germany's team should be doing a hell of a lot better than they are. I mean, some of the talent they've got, but obviously there seems to be a bit of a disconnect with all the players at the minute. So, yeah. So I'm sure Nagelsmann's working under quite bad conditions at the minute. Would I take him? I'll tell you what, I'd put him as my second favourite now you've said that. I didn't even think of Nagelsmann, to be honest. Personally, for me, and like I said, I don't want to start talking about the manager being replaced, I really don't, but I suppose it isn't now a thing. My first choice would be Areola from Bournemouth, but again, the trouble with my first choice is the release clause that Bournemouth will be able to ask. I mean, if Bournemouth have any sense, we will be paying them at least £20 million, especially if it's mid-season. I would have thought that, knowing how the game is played now, I would be very surprised if Areola hasn't already been sounded out. Not as in taking over, but an agent has a glass of wine with a club official, and the club official floats off the record. Would your boy be interested if, say, theoretically Arnold was leaving? And I'm sure conversations like that do take place with a number of managers, and one would imagine that Areola, I mean, he's got to be at least in the top three of Liverpool's list for replacements. Surely, you would have thought. But unless we brought back the other Pep, but I don't really think that would go down too well. It certainly wouldn't go down with me. Well, down well with me after today. I mean, the other option is you've got obviously the assistant coaches. I mean, technically, strictly speaking, we do actually have two international managers and a club manager of two very big football clubs who are already at the club, who could take over. Answers on a postcard. I like your voice accent. Oh, thank you, Clayton. I hate my voice. It's awful. I really. So there we go. 6-10 really. Have you seen the gap between Arsenal and Liverpool? They're below Man United, and the gap is 8 points. No universe top. Was that in response to something else, Kaiser? Oh, mate, we're done. Liverpool aren't winning the league this year. No chance. Absolutely no. That isn't me being negative, by the way. What I am, I suffer from depression and anxiety, like as an actual medical thing. It's not just me being an arsehole. I try to look at things through an analytical way, and like I said to you, I think if Liverpool need to win the league, and my figures might be wrong on this, but with 27 matches to go, just off the top of my head, I think at bare minimum we would need to win between 23 and at least 24 of them, and lose no more than 2 games, and maybe draw one, possibly 2 at a push. And that might get us to 93, 94 points, and I still don't think that's going to be enough. I mean, if Arsenal and Man City drop a few points here and there, maybe, but it's just not realistic, because I suppose the only other thing that I can give Liverpool credit for, but this is reaching, it really is, they played Newcastle United away from home. We've just played Manchester City away from home. We've done Stamford Bridge away from home. We've done Arsenal at home. We've done Man United at home. We've done the Merseyside derby. Look, Everton are like garbage, but like they're like basically for us, it's like playing bloody Real Madrid, unfortunately, just because of the rivalry and everything that happens in the city. We played Atletico Madrid. We played Real Madrid. We played Galatasaray away from home. I mean, they should still be beating Galatasaray. We played at that time Crystal Palace, who were one of the form teams in Europe at that point. I suppose you can give the players a bit of grace in saying, look, it's not the easiest fixture list they've ever had, but the excuses will have to stop now, because I mean, literally the next 10 to 12 games. I mean, after the Arsenal match, I think we've got I don't know if we'd still be in the FA Cup. I think it's Carabag after that. Then that's the end of the Champions League. Oh no, there's one more. I think we'd have to play someone that maybe Marseille. I'm not too sure. And then I think it's maybe Burnley, possibly someone like that. It was like Burnley, Anfield, or something along them lines. And then I think it's Newcastle, and then you're in sort of mid-February and blah 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 blah. So I mean, it's not the most taxing of fixture lists, but I think look, put it this way: out of the next 20, I think Arne Slot now is in a position he needs to win between 12 and 13 of them. He gets away with maybe. I think, to be honest, if any of us at this point were offered 15 wins, 3 draws and 2 losses, I think pretty much everyone on this stream would rip your hand off. I mean, I certainly would at the minute, but I think if you can get all the way to like mid-February and then maybe they lose at home away to Arsenal by like a single goal and they win all the rest of the matches, I think most of us think that's absolutely fine. That's brilliant. Well done. Yeah, but we'll have to wait and see. Is Edge coming back for... we've done it the other way around. We've got onto wrestling now. I'm him. You know what fingerboarding is? Now I'm him, I've forgotten completely. Sorry. I did say that a while ago, actually. It does sound somewhat on the questionable side, actually, but now that I look at the way it's spelled. Is Edge coming back for Cena's last match? Well, Finn, funnily enough, and again, this is a really cheap plug and I shouldn't do this, on my Substack, which is at GeekBoyMeta, I've just done an article about that, where this is a bit random, actually. So, you know when you think about something, it leads you onto like a path of thinking about something completely and utterly out there. I basically started thinking about Cena's last opponent. Sorry, I've just dropped my bottom. Started thinking about Cena's last opponent. Obviously, there was the announcement about LA Knight that Nick Aldis made on SmackDown the other day, and he was like, "Actually, I'll keep this ball for myself, and we'll announce it at a later date." Well, obviously, that announcement now has to be tomorrow night, because it's obviously Monday Night Raw, and I've been racking my brain with this, and I'm trying to. I wonder if I've still got the list up actually. No, I haven't touched it. Right, I'll just go off the top of my head. I came up with, I think the most likely is Joe Hendry, because if you remember, Cena said someone who doesn't work here. Now, technically, Joe Hendry is in WWE, but he is contracted to TNA Wrestling. So, strictly speaking, Cena would be right if he said that Joe Hendry doesn't work here. I think he's most likely option. I think Karrion Kross is an option because they said people not working here. Maybe Braun Strowman comes back. He's another option because obviously he used to work for WWE. I think Jericho is. I would be one of the ones who would be quite disappointed with that. And the reason I'd be disappointed is Chris Jericho is like a star. He needs to be brought back on a countdown at the Royal Rumble, or it needs to be a surprise shock at WrestleMania, or he needs to be the night after WrestleMania, as in the Monday Night Raw, or a SummerSlam, or something along those lines. That's Chris Jericho's level, because as far as I'm concerned, Chris Jericho is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And do you bring him back for a random Monday Night Raw? I know eventually he would face Cena, and I get that, and that's fine, but it's like, is that worthy of Chris Jericho? Not for me. I don't think Chris Jericho is under contract with AEW anymore. I'm astonishingly sure about this now, so I think Jericho is a possibility. I'd be hugely astonished if it was Edge, i.e. Adam Copeland, for the reason that he's under contract with AEW. And that's the thing that sent me down the rabbit hole, because I was doing one of my Substacks, because the reason I do Substack is, I shouldn't really be talking about this, but like, I have a lot of stuff that goes in my brain, and I need to get some of this stuff out of my brain, hence why I do the live streams, because it clouds my brain over, and I can't have all this basically shit in my head, excuse my language, and I need to get it removed and put it in something positive, hence writing, hence live streaming, going to the gym, whatever it is you need to do kind of thing. And basically, long story short, what I'm getting to is I actually started doing a what if of what if AEW and WWE could come to an agreement where they hosted a joint pay per view. And I went on a bit of a tangent with this earlier to the point where I ended up doing an entire pay per view lineup for AEW versus WWE, co produced by Netflix and HBO Max, Triple H, and Tony Khan. And the card I've come up with, if I do say so myself, was pretty insane. Look, obviously, I'm not suggesting in the million years that AEW and WWE are ever going to work with each other because it's just not going to happen. But put it this way, I'm sure you guys who know wrestling, some of the matches you could have between some of those wrestlers. I mean, I was practically salivating. I mean, I think I came up with I forgot who it was. I think it was I think I came up with Cody Rhodes versus Swerve Strickland, Tony Storm against Rhea Ripley, and what was the other cool one I came up with? Will Ospreay versus Roman Reigns. I like the sound of, and just loads of random stuff like that, basically. So yes, to answer your original question, I don't think it'll be Edge, but I'm going to go with Joe Hendry, to be honest, Finn. But yeah, I hope that answers the question. Johnny West. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, sounds so funny. The best choice would be Scaloni, because he Scaloni would be a good pick actually, but yeah, I'll give you that, Kaiser. Yeah, no, he is a good manager. Isn't he? I used to like the who was the who was the bold fella? He was in Syria a while ago, and he used to be a really good coach. I can't remember what his damn name was now. Not Ten Hag. Before anyone says it, honestly, can you imagine? We all get an alert on our phone saying Arne Slot's been sacked. Eric Ten Hag takes over. Yeah, that would be not cool. Arsenal have had tough fixtures. To be fair, I'm a Rangers fan. Hi, Carter, you alright? Yeah, actually, no, you're fair play. Arsenal didn't have the easiest one at the start, did they? I think the thing is with Arsenal, I think since the first 5 or 6 matches, I think they played, what was it, Man City away from. No, it was Man City at the Emirates. Then they played us the week before, and I think they had to win at Newcastle. Um, Something along them lines. Yeah, no, I think since then, I wouldn't say they've had it easy, but it's been slightly not as horrendously hard. I mean, I know the next three Arsenal have got are what's it again? They've got something in the region of Tottenham at home, Chelsea away. I mean, Chelsea, they're like a bag of revels. You never know what you're going to get with them, to be honest. So that could be anything. They've got Brentford at home, which everyone will say, they'll beat Brentford. But Brentford are one of them teams. I think Brentford are going to be one of the spoilers of the season. I think Brentford are even one of these teams they're going to beat um, Manchester City 3-0, or they're going to lose 5-1 at home to Crystal Palace. They're just going to be one of them sort of teams. I do enjoy watching Brentford, actually. I don't like this whole thing of long ball Brentford because they're not that at all. I actually find a lot of their play quite entertaining. I like that Thiago fella a lot, and the other one up front. Is it the younger people know? Is it Awatara? I can't pronounce his name. The black fella basically up front, the same skin colour as me. Yeah, so I quite like Brentford. Why was I talking about Brentford? I don't, God knows, I can't remember. Oi, oi, Arsenal, yes. Hello, yeah, hello. Yes, Liverpool doing great. Yes, I know. Well, yeah, you'll be sitting uncomfortably in your chair because you've completely got rid of us. Have you got rid of Manchester City? I mean, I had a look at the league table and expected to see Manchester City about 8 points behind you, and now they are 4 points behind you. With a trip to the Etihad Stadium's come in, I think, 2 months' time. Not trying to make you nervous or anything. I'm just pointing that out. I'm only joking. No, to be honest, I think Arsenal will. I have nothing really to base this on, given their records at the Etihad. I actually think Arsenal will comfortably go and beat Man City. I mean, I know City played against us today, but I mean we were appalling. But I mean Arsenal are a different prospect. I think Arsenal will comfortably beat them. I think it'll be 2 or 3-0. I still think Arsenal, but I wouldn't say they'll have the league won by the start of March, but like I'd be very surprised if there's a title race still going on by the back end of April. Put it that way at the minute. Oh, thank you. Yeah, yeah. Cheers. Yeah. Please like and subscribe. Oh, thank you. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Like I said, thank you for everyone who are, especially Liverpool fans, who are wasting their time talking about an absolutely atrocious performance with a big fat bloke with a Cartman hat on. I'm just gonna have a look at my other bits and pieces, folks. Yeah, I've told you about that. Told you about the fixture list. Told you about Alexander Isak. Told you about Mo. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the game. It would be cool if the Cena tournament went normally, and then on December the 13th, Cena's last opponent came out and said it can't be me because there's only one for the job, and Edge comes up. That would be pretty cool, Finn. Actually, or I mean, if you're gonna gimmick it, and do it like kayfabe wise, maybe someone attacks whomever it is. I mean, let's say for example, it's I don't know, Bron Breakker and I don't know. Trying to think of someone for argument's sake, like I don't know, like LA Knight decided to attack Bron Breakker with a sledgehammer, which would be a bit weird. Or maybe the other way around would be slightly more palatable. And then there was like one guy left, and then Edge walked out. I mean, it's a bit of a logic leap because then you'd have other people on the roster going, well, hang on, wait a minute, I finished in the semi-finals. Why? Surely I should be the pick. So, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. It could be Edge. It could be Edge, but I just don't. I don't know what. I suppose with my AEW hat on, and like I said, I'm not trying, but I watch all wrestling. I have no interest in this nonsense about you got to watch AEW if you watch WWE. It's like do one, son. I watch like 5 or 6 different wrestling promotions. I'm not interested in that nonsense. I was one of those people who had to suffer through that horrendous ordeal when WCW went out of business, and we were just furnished with utter and complete rubbish, basically, for I would say at least 15 years. Maybe not 15, but maybe 12. But I mean, I know there's a lot of people who are like my brother's age, because he's like in his mid-20s, who really like the ruthless aggression era, and I do get that and I understand that, but obviously I was from the Attitude era, and obviously we had Stone Cold, we had Rock, we had Shawn Michaels, we had Taker, we had Sable, we had Trish, Lita, Mankind, The Undertaker, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, DX, X-Pac, and so on and so forth. WCW, we had Flair, we had Goldberg, Sting, the NWO, Hollywood Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Roddy Piper, and so on and so forth. And obviously, from my generation's point of view, you get the ruthless aggression, which obviously now looks amazing because you had Orton, Cena, Batista, I don't know, Booker T's and this, that, and the other. But you kind of like you just can't compare the two in my opinion. But then I kind of get it with people who have grown up with it, where they're just like, that was my era. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, there we go. I'm definitely enjoying the Route One football being played. To be fair, it's definitely entertaining. We've used it up being in Scotland. Yeah, it's coming back, isn't it? Well, to be honest, Cardi, I'm one of these people like, look, I'm one of these like, I couldn't really give a toss about the football as long as the match is won. I've never really look. I like watching entertaining football. Like, so for example, my old fella, he used to watch because obviously he was older than me. Obviously, he used to watch the 1970s Brazil team. Jairzinho and Pele and I forgot his name, Socrates and people like that. And that was the football my old fella used to enjoy when he used to watch it in Ghana. When he came to England, he liked watching QPR because they had people like Jerry Francis. He liked watching Tottenham because they had Osvaldo Ardiles, Ricky Villa, Garth Crooks. Yes, the young people, Garth Crooks was an actual footballer, by the way, not just a crazy person. And yeah, he used to like entertain teams like that. He liked Liverpool of the late 80s because obviously we had people like your Peter Beardsley's, your John Barnes, Ian Rush, Ray Houghton, and so on and so forth. And that was my dad's football. And I'm probably quite similar to him, that I want to see entertaining football if I can. But ultimately, if I pay to go and see Liverpool and we get annihilated for 70 minutes against, I don't know, bloody Chelsea, and then we score two lucky goals at the end. If I'm at the boozer an hour later, celebrating, singing away with 2 pints lager in my hand, going, effing get in there, that's all I'm bothered about at the end of the day. If you can enjoy the football, obviously it's good, but I mean, you pay your ticket for what you get. You know what I mean? You don't just like pay a ticket for a football match and go, right, I expect to win today. It doesn't work like that at the end of the day. So yeah, this whole stupid. I'm going to swear again. Sorry, pardon anyone who's watching, but this stupid shit at the minute where people are just like, it's not the right way of playing, and Liverpool shouldn't have to face throw-ins and corner kicks. Oh, it's like, shut up. It's just absolutely honestly, it's just, it drives me up the wall, that sort of thing. Liverpool defenders are professional footballers, and throw-ins and corners are part of a professional football match. So ergo, if you were paid to be handsomely as well, I might add, a defender for Liverpool Football Club, and some big lung throws a huge throw in, it's your job to head the bloody ball away. It's simple as that. That is the rules. Now, until those rules are broken, where you're not allowed to take throw-ins or corners, um, that is the way football has always been. So if you can see the goal from a corner, you dust yourself down, you get off your arse, and you turn around and say, right, we don't do that again. Crack on, let's go and get the equaliser, and we do it by any means necessary. The end. I mean, sometimes it's not always about tactics as well. All these patterns of play and stuff, and like, sorry, I'm going on a bit of a random tangent here, but like, I remember when there were people like your Roberto Baggio's, your Paul Gascoigne's, your John Barnes's, your Paul Merson's, who were literally given the ball, and basically the manager said, right, go and win me the match, do whatever you need to do, and they did it through skill. This is why I feel sorry for, randomly, I know he's an Everton player and Man City, from Man City, but I feel a bit sorry at times for Jack Grealish, because Jack Grealish is should have been a generational football. Look, at the end of the day, Jack Grealish has still won more trophies than I will ever win in my life, and he's had a very good career, and he's played for three excellent football clubs, and he still had a good career. He should have had an amazing career, because Jack Grealish should have just been told by every single manager, right, my Groks are going to give you the ball. All I want you to do, see that goal over there, you get me to the edge of the penalty area, you feed one of my strikers, or you bang one in from 30 yards out. That is your job. Boom, off you go, lad. Obviously, you still have to defend. Even Diego Maradona had to defend back in the day, you know what I mean? I mean, Lionel Messi and Cristiano have to do it on the odd occasions. But you don't play Cristiano and Lionel Messi to defend. You don't play Luis Suarez, even though Suarez was very good at defending. You don't play them to do that sort of thing. You play them to go out and entertain people. And I just think a lot of these systems now, it's just bleeding the enjoyment out of it. So yeah, you've definitely still got to keep corners and throw-ins, but it's just like, it's so rigid, and it's like managers trying to outthink each other. I mean, the one thing, before I head off, guys, because I'm aware of the time, the one thing that drives me at the wall, and the one thing that I see myself screaming every time Liverpool play, or every time it's another match of a different team, you get a bloke who gets 25-yard out from goal, and he's shaping to shoot, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a right thunder, you know what. And then they take another touch and they pass it to the edge of the area, where you've got like a bloke on the right or left wing who's been marked by three different people. And by the time he's passed it there, more people have come back into the penalty area to prevent the shot. And you're literally just sat there going, why do you not just blast the ball as hard as you can and try and get it into the top corner? And the explanation is just like, oh, well, it's easier to get a chance if you're nearer the goal. It's like, yeah, Sherlock Holmes, thank you for that. Goodness, I would have had no idea that the closer you got to goal, the better chance that you had to score a goal. Lots of completely ridiculous comments. But it's just like, just have a pop sometimes. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm ranting, but there's just a lot about modern football that I just think is ridiculous, but still. Anyway, Cardi. Oh, Cardi and wrestling then. They wouldn't waste an edge return making wrestle an entire tournament. The pop alone at the pay-per-view would outdo the entire tournament system. Well, that's the thing, Cardi. I mean, this is the trouble with this. This is what I was saying to Finn. I actually like the idea of this tournament, to be honest. I think it'd be a lot of fun, but this is the one issue with the tournament, because if you're AEW, there is no way. I mean, you're going to be lucky to let Adam Copeland go and wrestle there once. There is no way they'll let him wrestle a last 16 match, um, the quarterfinals, semi final, and final. He'd have to. Am I right in thinking that 16, 8? Yeah, so he's going to have to wrestle 4 matches. I mean, AEW are going to be like, you must be joking. You're having a laugh. So yeah, I mean, maybe Finn's got the point. I don't know. I mean, potentially, maybe they could do it that way. It's just a surprise at the last minute. But I suppose with me being a completist, like I like tournaments, and it's like, why would you do a whole tournament and then some bloke just comes in at the last minute and says, "Oh, it's all right, I'll do the match for you, hooray!" I mean, obviously the crowd would be really, really happy about it, but just in terms of logic, I'm a bit of a logic guy with WWE and AEW and wrestling, and sometimes wrestling is not based on logic, as we all know, and sometimes it is inherently bloody stupid, as we all know, because it's professional wrestling at the end of the day. It's not the most sense-making industry in the world at times, but it does need to make a bit of sense as well at the same time. So yeah, I don't know. Edge is the only guy left seeing these to face on the Facebook WWE YouTube channel this week. Yeah, I saw that thing. Yeah. As soon as I saw that, I was going to do a YouTube short on it, but I completely forgot because I was doing something else at the time. As soon as I saw Edge playlist come out, I was like, that's stirring the pot a little bit, isn't it? I wouldn't be surprised if they do a Jericho playlist as well at some point. I mean, I suppose the other way you could do it. I suppose the other way you could do it is you could Seth Rollins it in respect of let's say for argument's sake, Joe Hendry gets to the final against Bron Breakker, something along those lines. And let's say Joe goes over, but Bron attacks him on Raw. And Joe says, please just give me until the pay-per-view to be ready. And then the doctors are just like, I'm really sorry we've given you all the time that you can do. And then maybe a heel comes in, and then maybe, I don't know, Edge just comes back like straight, rated R Edge smashes someone with like a sledgehammer or something like that and says, Cena, it's you and me now, let's go. That would get the crowd hyped, and I suppose at least that would keep a little bit of sense of believability, I guess, around it. I don't know, but I don't think I reckon it's Joe Hendry, but I could be wrong, of course. Yeah. Arsenal. Yes, I know. Like I said, I've already said I think you'll win the league. So, Brick Boss, HSV. Oh God, it really annoys me not being young. HSV. Hello, Stephanie the Care. No, okay, fair enough. Sorry, I thought that was quite good. Actually, off the top of my head. It's late, folks. I need to run this. Looks my brain's completely gone. Slots football has been described as one-dimensional, with concerns. Oh, hello, Abdul. By the way, slots football has been described as one-dimensional, with concerns raised regarding formation style of play, difficulty in breaking down opposing teams, side-to-side passing issues with set pieces. I mean, well, to be honest, Abdul, I mean, the first season he'd cracked it really, hadn't he? Because I mean, Slot basically was just like a possession guy, and he was like, right, we control the first half, we get 2-0 up, and then we just shut the match down. And basically, if you look at Liverpool's results, that's pretty much what he did. It was a case of, right, we've got our 2 goals, we start resting players, we start conserving our energy. We do not leave this area of the field. We keep it tight, and we get 2-0. If we get a third goal, great, absolutely fine. And then it started. I wouldn't say breaking down, but I'm trying to think. I think it was the last time we played really, really well before the Spurs game was Liverpool 2 Newcastle 0. We were outstanding in that match. I want to say it was mid-February, something along them lines. And we'd absolutely destroyed Newcastle. It was an absolutely superb performance. I want to say Alexis and Sobo got the goals. It was the night when Arsenal didn't beat Forest and we ended up going something ridiculous, like about 14, 15 points clear or something like that. Anyway, I think cut to the next week. I don't know if I've got the timeline right on this, but I want to say we played Southampton. No, in fact, I tell you, like, it was PSG, and it was the one where Ali made all them saves, and it should have been about 5-6 nil. And Harvey Elliott got the winner, and most people were like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But there were a lot of Liverpool fans who were like, that performance was a bit dodgy. And then we played Southampton, then went 1-0 behind against them. Still won the match. I think we won 3 or 4-1. I forget what it was. I want to say Darwin got a couple or something. But after the match, people were like, oh, that wasn't great, was it? And then obviously we played Paris Saint Germain. I think that match bears a lot of responsibility for what's going on with Liverpool at the minute. You could see the play. I think the players were thinking to themselves, "We could be Premier League and Champions League winners here if we get this right." Because I mean, you look at it. I mean, I'm trying to think of the run that Paris Saint Germain went on. So we would have played what Villa. I mean, with the greatest respect to Villa, I mean, we would have beaten them the way that we were playing. I mean, we might not have won at Villa Park, but we definitely would have beaten them at Anfield, no question about it. Semi final against Inter Milan, tricky, but do the lads beat them? What am I on about? No, it was Barcelona PSG. Was it Barcelona PSG? Yeah, because they had that mad. I've completely lost what it is now. Barcelona Inter, that was it. And then Paris Saint Germain in the semis played Arsenal. That was the one. Would we beat Arsenal? I, that would have been a toss of the coin at that point. That would have been horrendously unbearable, to be completely honest. I can't honestly sit here and say that we would have beaten Arsenal. I mean, we would have won the league, obviously, but um, if we beat Arsenal and get to the final against who was it, Inter Milan? I mean, I'd back us to beat Inter Milan in the Champions League final. It'd be difficult, but the point is, what I'm getting at is, Abdul, that I think that week that we had, so we lost to Paris Saint Germain, and then we lost to Newcastle in the League Cup final, and then I think it went straight to an international break. So we've gone from like 1 week before thinking we're going to win a League Cup, we're going to get through to the Champions League quarterfinals, and then basically we come back and I think Arsenal have won their game against Leicester, and we had this massive gap that ended up going down. Well, I said going down, it was like 8 points, and we still had like a game in hand. But the very next match was Everton, and there were people absolutely bricking themselves at this point, thinking we're going to mess this up, aren't we? And then obviously, God rest his soul, Diogo scored that amazing goal, his last goal for Liverpool, which is still, obviously in the context of now, is pretty much in my top 10 favourite Liverpool goals of all time. It just proved what an absolute sensational footballer he was. And he got us over the line. But I do think that week with Newcastle and Paris Saint-Germain put a lot of doubt into people's minds, because then Slot's like, I don't know if I can rely on this squad. I've done all I can with it. I mean, to be fair to Slot, he did that based on a shoestring. We didn't sign any strike. We didn't sign no one. We signed Chiesa, who was then not available to him all season. So he will always have my respect for what he did for this football club. He's given me the best day of one of the best days of my life, as far as I'm concerned. When Liverpool won the league, honestly, I know it sounds really sad and really trite, but when Liverpool won the league, it brought me close to my dad. It was the best day of my life that I'd had with my brother. We had such a good laugh. We actually booked a hotel on the night at, I think it was like 7:30 at night, like on a Sunday, and how do I praise this? There may have been some wine taken that evening. There may have been lots of wine taken that evening. But the point was, he's given me the best day of my life, and I got to see the parade, and it was absolutely awesome. But I just think maybe there's been a bit of hangover, pardon the pun, going into this season. In terms of systems and stuff, I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't know what Arne Slot can say to the defenders more plainly than, if the ball comes into the area, your job is to head it away. I mean, it's fairly straightforward, and the players aren't doing it. I mean, again, I don't want to get on Konate's back, but I mean, what Konate was doing this afternoon for that goal, I mean, I don't even have the words. I mean, it was. If you haven't seen it, please go and see it. It beggars belief, to be honest. It really does. Brit Boss, Florian Wirtz, or Florian Wirtz, as my mother would say, and Germans possibly. LFC Premier League title hopes are over. Yeah, no, I agree, Abdul. Can't see Liverpool I definitely agree with the FA Cup, Abdul. We are hopeless in that tournament. So I've supported Liverpool for 30, how long have I supported them now? 35 years? About 35, 36 years. In that time, because I'm a bit of a geek, as the name would imply, obviously, we won the FA Cup in 1992 against Sunderland. In fact, this is how sad I am. I can tell you the scores. Michael Thomas and Ian Rush. We won the FA Cup again in 2001 when we won the treble. Freddie Lundberg scored, and then Michael Owen scored that ridiculous double in the space of 2 minutes where we got battered, and we ended up winning that 2-1. The next time, I say I remember, I've actually completely forgot. I know we've won the FA Cup another time as well. When the hell did we win the FA Cup? Oh, 2006, we went 2-0 down to West Ham. Pepe Reina let a couple in. Karras scores an own goal. I forget who the West Ham fellow was. Gibril got a goal back to make it 2-1. Oh no, I forgot who the second goal was. I want to say it was John Honoris, but I could be wrong about that. And then it was the one, if you guys remember, where Steven Gerrard literally gets the ball like 35 yards out, absolutely like booms it back into. It was when it was at Cardiff. If you've not seen it, type in Steven Gerrard versus West Ham. If you haven't seen, I mean, most local fans will have seen it, but it was amazing. So I can't remember the score of the second goal, but it could have been Gerrard actually. I don't know if he got to. I can't remember who it was. I'll have a look. And then the last time we won it was when we drew 0-0 with Chelsea, and Ali made the save from Mason Mount. And yeah, we won on penalties again. God rest his soul, Diogo Jota. If you go back, he actually scored the penalty that kept us in the shootout because Mane missed, and then God knows who scored for Chelsea. I don't know who it was. And then Jota, literally just cool as you like, literally just walked up and said, "Yeah, whole world watching, not bothered." Top right hand corner. What a guy. However, there was a story behind this. So apart from those FA Cup wins, I want to say Liverpool have gone out to lower league opposition since I've been a fan on at least 10 occasions. I think there's probably 15 occasions where we haven't got past the fourth round. And I want to say, other than winning those 4 FA Cups, there's been maybe 1 semi-final and perhaps 2 quarter-finals, 3 or 4 or something like that. I don't know, but I mean, unless we actually go and win it, we go out early. Hence last year's debacle against Plymouth. So yes, I love the FA Cup. I just do not like Liverpool in the FA Cup. I find it very depressing and very annoying. But still, anyway, that's Liverpool the FA Cup. Cardi El Grande wins, rips off the max, and it was edged the entire. What singing it? Singing it was Edge all along. That would be quite funny, actually. Question marks on Kirk. There is bloody question marks. No, absolutely. FTK, did we buy the right players and make too many changes? I think, to be honest, I don't know if we made too many changes. It's where the changes were made. Now, the issue that I have with the money that Liverpool spent, hopefully Isaac will come good. I'm sure he will at some point start scoring for Liverpool. My issue was Liverpool needed 3 centre-backs this summer. They did not need 1. We needed 3. It's been obvious to me for at least a year and a half that we need more central defensive cover. I mean, this is, but people are going mental saying we need to play Joe Gomez. It's like, I think Slot is just basically trying to glide him through to the point where it gets to December and he's like, right, now I can put you in a couple of matches here and there, because he can't trust him to play every single game because he gets injured. Now, look, if Joe Gomez never got injured, Canate would have been out of that side by now. He would have been broomed off, and it would be Joe Gomez and Van Dijk. But he just can't be trusted, Abdul, unfortunately. Obviously, the only injury was really unlucky. It's a shame this happened to the poor kid, but I'm sure he'll come back at the end of the day. He's just turned 18, so I'm sure he'll be fine. But they should have signed 2 more central defenders. Now, my argument against the Frimpong signing, there's no disrespect to Frimpong, I've no problem with him whatsoever. I'm sure he'll be very good. But I'm kind of like, people saying, yeah, we need a replacement for Trent, this, that, and the other. And I'm kind of stood there going, well, hang on, wait a minute. We've got Conor Bradley. It's like, yeah, we need to cover for him. It's like, we have. His name's Joe Gomez. He can play left or right. So what happens if he gets injured? Then you play Curtis Jones there, who has also played right back, and we buy the central defenders instead of getting Frimpong. I mean, I'm sorry to be glib about it, but I mean, I'm just like, I mean, I understand in principle, obviously, yes, we need to replace Trent's quality, and I get that, and it's better to have two players than one, but I mean, surely having two central defenders is more important than a right-sided fullback when you've already got two at the football club. And looking at it now, the Isak money, I mean, the Mark Gay thing was a farce. As they should have said to Palace with 3 weeks to go, can we have him or not? And if Steve Parish was still titting about, as is his right, by the way, and said, oh, we're still not sure, they should have said, right, off we go. We're going to go and sign Desiree Konza, for example, off the top of my head. The end. Um, and I don't know. I'm not saying Nicholas Otamendi, obviously, but someone like him with a bit of experience. What annoyed me, and I brought this up before, and was that Aymeric Laporte, the French dude who used to play for Man City, obviously was a very good defender when he went to Saudi, and I think he's only, I think I want to say he's 29, 28. He was available on a free transfer this summer, and he got signed by Athletic Club in Spain. Telling me that Aymeric Laporte can't come in for a couple of matches for Liverpool. I mean, it's stuff like that annoys me with the club. Surely to God, a signing of like that on a free transfer. I mean, obviously Laporte would have been on massive wages in Saudi, but I mean, if someone had called him up and said, look, if you take, I don't know, 40 or 50 grand reduction, you can play a year and a half for Liverpool and then you can go and ride out the rest of the time in France or Spain or somewhere like that. And I'm sure he would have said, yeah, that's absolutely fine. But I just think some of the money that we've spent was unnecessary. I think Florian Wirtz is going to be a fantastic football, but I don't think this is his season this season. I think he will be far better for this experience, and I think my prediction is I think he'll come good towards the end of the season, and I think he will absolutely smash it out of the park next season, would be my hope. Hopefully, I think probably he's at the same. Obviously, as well, Abdul, don't forget, the only thing I would say on the Slot's behalf is we're in transition at the minute, so Mo Salah will not be at that football club the year after next. I'm convinced, absolutely convinced. So obviously they are future proofing, hence why they've got Mamadashvili, because Alisson Becker, again, if he's there in 2.5 years, I'd be very surprised. So they're getting Mamadashvili in now. That's why they've got the two right backs. This is why they've signed Leone, because obviously he's very. I mean, you don't spend nearly 35 million quid on like a young 18-year-old lad if you haven't got big plans for him. Obviously, you've got the Kirkes is 21. Midfield, you've got, I mean, Dom and, I mean, Gravenberg is only just 23. I mean, Sobo's what, 24? Macca's 26. You've still got Jones, who's about 24, 25. You've got Trainione, who's 19, 18 years old. And then obviously you've got Rio Ingamoa, who's, what, 17, I think. Gakas is still only 25. I can, basically what I'm saying, and obviously Alexander Isak's just turned 26. What I'm saying is I can see what it is they're doing. They're trying to build the next team, but I think maybe they've done it a bit too quickly. I think what they probably should have done, I think the reason that they've gone with Wirtz and Isak is basically someone's told them, unless you sign these now, you will never get the chance to do so again, because if Wirtz had gone to Bayern Munich, that was him done. If Alexander Isak goes to, I don't know, let's say if he'd gone to Manchester City, for example, for some bizarre reason, or I don't know, bloody Real Madrid or somewhere like that, can we get Alexander Isak after that? I would probably say no. So I'm guessing they're probably opportunistic signings that maybe they've felt that they've had to make. But obviously, in retrospect, defensive cover should have been brought in. I think a defensive midfielder, now I think about it, probably should have been as well for Gravenberch. Like I said, I love Wataru Endo, but I also think he's awesome. But obviously the guy's getting on. He's, what, 32? I still think he can do a job for us. But yeah, that would be my explanation of that, mate, basically. The losses to Crystal Palace, free occasion season, Chelsea, Man United, Brentford, Man City is unacceptable. It's anticipate further loss maker. Yeah, no, I agree. Opinion on Man United form? Unfortunately, very good, Gizgaz. Which I'm not very pleased about, to be honest. Results game. Why didn't buy central midfield? Yeah, well, that's what I was just talking about today, Abdul. We needed to buy. Well, to be honest, mate, as far as I'm concerned, we should have bought three centre backs. Not one, three centre backs. It was ludicrous that it wasn't. I mean, like I said with the Laporte comment that I just made, you could have signed Mark Gay, give Palace the 40 million quid at the start of the summer. You know it's boxed off. You get Leone in, and then you say buy Laporte, who's got a bit of experience. He can come in and every now and again. You've still got Joe Gomez, and then you maybe, I don't know, go into the loan market and see if there's someone available. Uh, I mean, the only one that was really available on the out of contract list was Daniel Amamati from Leicester. Now, look, he's a 34-year-old footballer. I'm not suggesting forever, but maybe you could give someone like that a contract for maybe 3 or 4 months, see us over the line, and then it gives you time to build your defence up. So, I don't know. Mate. I really don't know. But I agree that the lack of defensive signings was absolutely, utterly, and completely absurd as far as I'm concerned. We didn't turn up today. Nope, I agree. We're a Dutchman. We all think that Frimpong, Kirkus, and Gravenberg are very much overrated. Oh, Jorian. Well, is it Jorian? Jorian? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Well, dude, obviously you know better than me. Because obviously you'll watch like Everidise. I can never pronounce the name of that league at all. I'll just call it the Dutch Premier League. Obviously, you'll know better than me because you'll see them. You would have seen them week in and week out. I disagree a bit on Gravenberg. I see what you mean about Kirkus. Bloody hell, crikey. Frimpong, we'll have to wait and see. I have been very impressed with Gravenberg over the last year, but obviously, again, mate, you'll know more than me because you watch these players you were watching these players week in week out. So, when does Slot's job start becoming endangered? Thank you, chemist. You'll have to excuse me, chemistris. Sorry, my sight is appalling, and I'm literally leaning into a screen right now. I'm trying not to because I don't want to scare all you guys with how ugly I am and stuff. When does slots? Well, I went through this earlier. I'll just call you Kem just in case I've got your name wrong. To be honest, Kem, I talked about this earlier. I think Slot's got a lot of credit in the bank because he's won the league. I think he's fine at the minute because we're only 2 points off Chelsea, who are in, I don't know, third, wherever they are. And we're still in the Champions League. We're doing reasonably okay in that. And we've still got 3 trophies, technically, that we can go for. So I think he's okay. Obviously, he's just beat Madrid and Villa. Anyone can lose 3-0 to Man City. It's not like it's a disgraceful result. I mean, obviously, it's not a good result. I'm not claiming it is. But, like, people have gone to Man City and lost 7-8-9-0 at the end of the day before. So I think to answer your question, Ken, it becomes endangered after the next 6 fixtures, I would say, because he's run out of excuses. Because basically, the next 6 we've got are Nottingham Forest, PSV Eindhoven, West Ham away, Sunderland at home, Leeds United away, Brighton at home, Tottenham away, and then I want to say it's another Champions League away, Wolves at home, Leeds United at home, an FA Cup match, hopefully at home, and then Arsenal away. So, to answer your question, Ken, he becomes, put it this way, if he was to lose the next 4 or 5, it would really upset me, but he's gone. To answer your question, but I think if he was to lose 5 or 6 on the bounce with those kind of fixtures, no disrespect to those clubs, if he lost 6 on the bounce, definitely gone. If he was to win 3 out of 6, and let's say the other 2 were draws, and and I don't know, let's say we lost at home to Brighton, who are a really good football team, I think he could just about muddle his way through that one. But really, for me, to shut the noise up before we go to Arsenal in 11 games, I think it's 11 games time, I think he needs to win 8. And then, I don't know, let's say if you lose 1 and it's Tottenham away from home and the other one's a draw in an FA Cup match away at Stamford Bridge. Like, for argument's sake, I think most Liverpool fans will be like, well, I'm not thrilled, but that's better. That's okay, kind of thing. If he loses the next 4, he'd be on his last legs, and if he lost a 5th, he's gone, to answer your question, I think. Sort of off the top of my head, you see everyone saying Liverpool's fallen off and you're uncomfortably run with it, forgot about the result. Oh, well, that's the thing, Kevin, to be honest, like I said, I'm not one of these Liverpool fans that, like, I don't want Slot to be sacked, I'll just point that out. I can't fathom asking a manager to be sacked, like I said, who's given me one of the best days of my life 6 months ago by winning the league. That meant the world to me, and I will always thank Arne Slot for that. It was one of the greatest moments of my entire life. I legitimately do mean that. I'm not asking. I'm not going to start asking for a manager to be sacked when we're 2 points off third place. At the end of the day, look, I'm not telling other people how to think, but it's just, in my opinion, it's not a. If we were in the bottom two of the Premier League and we had like 1 point or something daft like that, then yes, obviously you would have to turn around and say, look, dude, really sorry, but you have to go. We're in like nearly December and we're going to get relegated if this carries on much longer. So obviously in that scenario, yes, but not when you. Well, I mean, to be honest, if you look at the league as well, I mean, I think we're only about 4 points in. In fact, no, Brentford are nearly behind us now. I think Everton are in like. It's either Everton or Newcastle are in like 14th place, and they're only 5 points behind us. It's like, guys, I keep saying, because I've been watching football for years, it's not me being patronising. You don't start looking at that league table until at least mid-January. This is the crucial bit now. Now, if Liverpool are still in this position and there's a 10-point gap, then there is a discussion to be had. But in my opinion, I'm going to back the manager. I still think he's the right man for the job. If I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up and say he's not. But I can't be calling for a fella that's given me the greatest day of my life to be sacked 5 months later. It's just not me. But if people have a different opinion, not bothered at all. You're welcome to have your own opinion. Speaking of opinions, right, guys, I'm actually going to go now because I actually have like work in about 6 hours, so I actually need to get off. Really professional YouTuber. Yeah, no, seriously, thank all of you for chatting with me tonight. It's been really good. Thanks to all the regulars. I'm him, Johnny. Nice to speak to Kaiser again. Abdul, love to speak to you as well, mate. Yeah. All of you. Depression Talk, I will try and subscribe to. I swear to God, I'm going to look for you now. Oh yeah, cheers, Cam. Yeah, no, that's fine, mate. No, yes, it's no problem. It's just I end up just waffling on and forgetting what the time is doing. To be honest, half the time, and then I'll get up tomorrow morning. And I'll be like, oh, I've got no sleep. It's fine. It's fine. Not a problem, dude. Thanks for watching me as well, dude. It's nice to chat to you. Um, yeah, guys, just before I go, just to say, right, my week this week. So obviously, I usually tell subscribers this who have heard this a million times, but just in case you've not seen my channel before, I do Liverpool FC, but I also do, as you might have guessed, I also do wrestling. So it's all under Geek Boy does. So there's Geek Boy does wrestling. Geek Boy does Liverpool FC, Geek Boy does football stadium tours, whatever it is. There's loads of different ones on there. I've got grounds, ground tours of like Villa, Birmingham, Stamford Bridge, Manchester City, Telford United, if you're a non-league person. Random grounds that I've been to. Pride. I also do Geek Boy does horror because I'm a massive horror movie fan. Really looking forward to seeing Predator Badlands, hopefully tomorrow. By the way, don't put what happens in it, please. Whoever, if anyone puts that in the comments, I will not be best pleased and I will block you. But yeah, I'm hopefully going to do something with Predator this week as well. What else do I do? Oh, I also love toy collecting and Comic Cons. So I've got Geek Boy does Comic Cons, Geek Boy does toy hunts, and then I do Liverpool podcast, which this ends up on like an audio. So it's Geek Boy does Liverpool. No, it isn't. It's Geek Boy a Liverpool story. That's the podcast name. And then there's Geek Boy a wrestling story and Geek Boy a movie story, which, like I said, hopefully I'll be doing a live reaction to Predator this week. I'm not entirely sure when that's going to be. I'm not too sure. Yeah. So I do all that sort of stuff. In terms of stuff that's coming up, like I said, randomly I'm going to do like a live stream for the World Cup draw. I'm also doing, in conjunction with one of my friends, a live music event. I'm not doing the music event. I'm just recording it for a friend, basically. Called Heart. It's called Hard Light, like a night of dark electronica. I think it's called. So it's music that comes from Leeds and stuff. Very cool. So I'll be filming all that, and there'll be loads of cool bands and stuff. I think that's on December the 12th or something like that. So I'll tell you more about that as and when. And also, what else am I doing? I'm hoping to do a watch along. Speaking of the Reds, I was toying with the idea of doing a watch along for the Inter Milan game because it's on Amazon Prime, but I have a child upstairs, and I honestly don't think it would be a very good idea for me to perform said watch along, to be quite honest, bearing in mind all this. So, yeah. Oh, that's the other game. Yeah, Inter Milan. Yeah. So between that stopped me in my tracks now. So we've got, yeah, so it'll be Leeds United, then Inter Milan, and then Brighton, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing stuff like that. Also, just to say this week, my schedule is always on my live streams, but basically I'm going to be covering Monday Night Raw on Tuesday night, so I'll see you again 10:30. I have put down a Liverpool thing for tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the time to do it, in all honesty, so I might have to possibly cancel that one, so apologies. I'll definitely be doing a couple of Liverpool ones there before the international break ends. I also cover AEW, as I mentioned, so I'll be doing an AEW Dynamite review, and then I'll be doing the late WWE SmackDown reaction show on Saturday night at 11 o'clock. And also, I also do Toy Shorts Friday, where I do a load of YouTube shorts basically of toys and weird anime things basically. And yeah, I think I've got a vlog coming up this week as well. Oh yeah, so I've went to somewhere called what is it called now? Anime Toys or somewhere like that, or Toy Town. And basically it's this really cool anime shop in Birmingham. Tokyo Toys, that's the one. If you live in Birmingham, you'll know whereabouts it is. So I did a little vlog there, so that's out on Friday, and that's going to be at 8 o'clock at night as well. And that's basically everything that's coming up. But yeah, cool. Thanks everyone for watching. It's been really, really cool. Yeah, thank you, Ken. See you later as well, mate. And yeah, it's been good chatting with you as always. And I will see you for Monday Night Raw when we find out if it's Edge, Chris Jericho, Joe Hendry, The Undertaker, or anyone else who might be facing Mr. John Cena. I'll leave you with that thought. What about if The Undertaker comes back from retirement? Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Anyway, right. Night, everyone, and I'll see you all soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.